Wicked, 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 wicked. Wicked tones, you know.
Good morning.
Morning. Ultra quick chest pump workout today. Start with a baby weight. A lot of people write me and ask me like what my ideal split is. I don't know why that, as if I'm going to be able to tell you what your ideal split is. Like, I don't even know you. I've never met you in my life. I've never even seen your physique. Like, it's just like, that's going to be a journey you're going to have to take on your own to discover what works best for you, right? So no one can tell you. Like, you could write me, you could write someone else that you want to get advice from. They don't fucking know you. They're just gonna give you some nonsense thing like, oh, you want your back to grow? Well, prioritize it 3 times a week. It's like, if you're still doing back shit, but doing it 3 times a week, does that mean your back's gonna get better? No, it's just gonna spend more time wasted on doing shitty back work, right? It's just like, don't worry about your split. Work with what works for you and what you wanna bring up, but focus on getting better at the things that you suck at. That might be a start, as opposed to like, my split. How many days rest do I get? I think I might do a program one day, but it's just a fucking cop-out. And everybody's selling programs out there. You know who you are, like fucking everybody. I'm not like putting you down. Make your money and do your thing. It's just not, I don't feel comfortable recommending exercises and programs of like sets and reps, and I don't even know what I just did here. I have no idea. I have no idea what my reps were there. It's all by feel and like how I'm moving and how much I'm engaging and understanding I have 4 more sets left of this or 3 more sets left of that. Like, it's craziness, man. Like, the people doing it, you're giving people structure, I get it. And that's a good thing because a lot of people don't have that structure. But if you really think at the end of the day you're the one causing the change, like, you're not. You're just giving them a skeleton or a framework to follow. They're doing the work in their shitty way or their subpar way, and they're getting results just because they happen to be moving weights, which is gonna happen when you lift weights. You're gonna put on muscle, even if you're doing it horribly, because the body will grow and respond. It's just when that muscle starts to go on, and we start to see a physique developing, then we start to notice massive holes. It's like, man, this dude has like no rear delt. Or like, this person has no chest. And that's when, if you had started them off on the right path to begin with, you wouldn't be hitting those roadblocks along the way. We're like, man, your chest really sucks. Like, we gotta go back again. It's like, let's get people moving well, like the way I preach to people, and then do whatever the fuck you want. I don't deadlift. I don't barbell squat. That doesn't mean you shouldn't. If you're good at it and you connect to it and it's something you enjoy and you can do it without injury or hurting yourself in any way, then you should do it. Don't listen to people. Like, definitely don't listen to me if you like deadlifting. And I'd say I don't deadlift and I hate deadlifting. That doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. That's just my personal opinion, right? Don't do what I say. Do what works for you. When you begin a chest workout, like the way I begin, I always start with, like, obviously lighter movements. Everyone would be like, I assume everyone's intelligent enough to know that. Like, we're not fucking morons here, right? Like, you're not gonna jump into like heavy pressing or heavy flies when your chest is cold and has no blood in it. So it's like, pick movements that maybe like, these are 2 presses back to back. They're different styles of presses, where this one is like a true press where weight is bearing down over my frame and it's sinking me into a bench and I'm having to handle that load because it's falling onto me, right? Whereas here I have advantage on the load. I'm above the load and I can squeeze up through and get more chest projection, right? Like, I'm squeezing through pecs as they come up. Here I'm squeezing around. And on the fly, we're just flexing around through, right? So we're working different modality, like different movement patterns of the chest. So we're starting the chest workout off by hitting all the fibers of the pec and getting them all warmed up, and like, not just like, oh, today I'm pressing, so I just punch in straight lines and follow this like rhetoric of like, I do 2 warm-up sets and then I do a top set. And it's like, yeah, well, just how about you just do a huge, like, we're doing 3 here, maybe do 2 movements back to back. or you're just getting blood in the muscle. So start to be aware of like where your chest is and start to like cue your body like, hey, we're gonna train this today. I need you to like start sending blood there and nutrients and like understanding like I'm gonna fuck you up today. So like you wanna kind of prime it for that, not just like, it's like jumping into a pool and you're jumping straight into the deep end. When you could just get in the shallow end, walk down the stairs and walk slowly and then swim to the deep end. It's like motherfuckers just wanna like get to the pool and cannonball in the deep end and then wonder why bad shit happens, right? Half of you can't swim. So it's always fascinating to me, like the people that promote like this slow, fucking blind again from that light. Those slow like mechanic, like robotic, like controlling the weight, this and that. It's like those are the same people that have trouble, like what I call like understanding that like being calm in the chaos. I've said that to Antoine before and stuff. It's like when the set gets hard or the pain starts to build, which a lot of people can't, like even watching this probably can't understand what that is to like a certain degree. But it's like when it gets so bad that your natural instinct is to drop the weight or speed the fuck up. Good lifters slow down and relax and keep pushing through and try to get more pain, more burn, more pump, more like connection. You know what I mean? And that's a lot of things people are missing. Like even these guys who promote like these like stupid fucking movement patterns, whether it's like engage my serratus and my fucking ulna is at 45 degrees. And it's like, you'll never see them teaching people how to do shit with heavy weight. Yet they all preach using heavy weight, but they all teach with bitch weight. They all teach with bitch weight. There's no weight on the bar. There's no weight on the hack squat. There's no weight on the fucking pull down. There's no weight on the press. And so when it comes time for those people who are supposedly now programmed to press better to move a load, out the window. What you showed them's out the fucking window. Get them in the lift, moving loads, and fix them in there. That's why you don't see me showing people with like spending half my workout with them explaining why this does that and this does this and like mind fucking them to be like, oh, when I'm here, I feel my erector, and then I know where my scapula is, but my left one's lower than my right one. It's like, get in the position and have them move the load and give them a few cues, whether it's all the weights on your palm, elbow below your hand, sternum up, shoulders tucked back, head forward, rock, press out. I have no idea where my erector is right now. I have no fucking clue what it's doing because I'm in the middle of pressing this weight and understanding how to move through and engage my pec. So the last thing I'm thinking about is if my hip flexor's engaged on a fucking pressing movement. I helped someone the other day, I won't say their name because they'll get mad at me. They were doing leg extensions and telling me that their right erector wasn't firing. On a leg extension, it's a seated movement that's used, the name is in the fucking movement, extend your leg. At no point doing that did I contemplate where my erector was or if it was firing or not. And if you are, you're lost. Don't listen to people that give you this hocus pocus pseudoscience nonsense, right? Like none of those people can lift weights. And when they did lift weights, or they were back to like at a time when they were bigger or like stronger, they were in the middle of the sport, they weren't thinking about all that shit. It's all gimmick shit, guys. It's gimmicky bullshit to get you to come to them and be like, oh, well, you know, you're not engaging this and that. Now this is engaged. Then you go back to doing the weights you were trying to do. And you're not any better at them. You're just better at connecting to low shit, like low weights, and be like, oh yeah, I feel my fucking vastus medialis way better on this. Like when I do quads, I'm just feeling quads. I don't know, not a specific region. And on this fly, I'm doing differently than every other fly. I teach people to be here and rock up through things. This has got such a good angle and such a narrow back pad that I can almost feel like it's like a fly where I'm able to lean forward and almost drive through things. So my weight stays forward and I just pull my head back and squeeze my hands around. So I don't fire my shoulders stay where they are and my hands flex. So it's a pec flex from the beginning to where I stop. and then it falls open on my hands again. I can relax here and squeeze, because all my weight's on that back pad, digging in, head down, not head up. Here I'm pinned. Here I can relax and flex through my pec. So there's a million different variations of angles you can do on any machine to hit different areas of your pec or back or whatever it might be, right? When people do flies, you should think that my meat of my palm is rotating through when I squeeze things. Obviously, don't do this with your body, but so I'm here and I'm on my palm and I'm moving through my hand, flexing. I'm not trying to flex my hands in. So I'm not trying to pull in and then open up, pull in. I'm trying to move, catch, move. So it's almost like a press fly. If you start to think about things that way, your shoulders won't jump forward. They won't want to fucking cave in and go, and you get like fucking, the only time you stimulate your pec is at the very top. And then wonder why you only have outer pec. Just like repeating the pattern in the other room. The other room was 2 presses and a fly to start, and this is just fly, press, right? Just working different angles. This, I don't know if people have this, but this is more of like it's more of like a rocking, feeling like you're rocking into that pec, like into that insertion, and driving out of it. So it's almost like a shove, like a true shove. In my head, a lot of people's heads, they'll have a hard time pinning back on this. So it's kind of like you have a floating, your head's floating and my shoulders are retracted and my elbows are as deep as I can get, and I'm just punching out of here. Punching. So it's a body movement of just catching, driving up through pec, but also getting like serratus and like rib cage elevation and understanding how to keep that posture and drive up through things. So I'm promoting that lift all the time. Like people are gonna tell you all this shit, like it's about stimulating pecs grow by worse than that. It's like, it has everything to do with your rib cage and everything to do with your development of your serratus and like everything to do with like even oblique development and the positioning of your rib cage, how high it sits, right? It's not like guys that have some massive pecs that just poke off their body a foot and they just project that way. It's because their rib cage is so, and their development here is so good that their chest sits well, right? So it's nothing to do with like over flexing your pecs and over flexing your pecs. It's like, I'd rather see someone rep out here on like the bottom of the range and hit quarter reps, especially when they're tired, because then at least we're getting pulled into the pec and we're keeping this projection up. So when I get used to maintaining this posture, I stand up and I have this posture. If I don't hold this posture and I'm here all the time, I stand up and I'm here. It's like, it's that simple. People don't get it. Like, your chest is 2 just hunks of meat on the front of your fucking body that just hang there. They're not doing anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, so we have to get this whole, everything around the chest and the back development to pull us back and set us down, to get the chest to look like it sits where it should. So you have projection through your chest and your pecs, right? And this is just a straight press. I just like the way that press feels. So you can't go crazy heavy on that, but you can really squeeze into the middle on a press. It almost mimics like a dumbbell press. It just allows you to lock down a lot better than a dumbbell because it's on a fucking track, right? Even on a chest fly, my maximum contraction on this is my pecs here. That's as much as I can squeeze my pecs. So for me to go here and go, it's stupid. It's beyond stupid. I'm trying to work pecs. I'm trying to work my chest, so I'm squeezing in to where my pecs engage the most, and they lock, I open up off of it. So I keep my weight back in the seat and I fire through. So we're trying to get pecs to engage here. They don't engage more here, or when my arms come in front of me, they disappear, right? The easiest way to get into like a decline fly, I think, is to have elbows stacked here over palm. So I'm just rocking through it now. So if I was up here and like I'm pushing down on these handles, I'm now walking through it and tucking. So my elbow just rotates back. So I tuck hip and I'm up through. So I still have elbow behind, elbow still stacked with hand. Hand's a little open now, but I'm pushing through. So I'm just driving elbows down and hands in. And if I keep this hip back, I keep my weight out in front of me. So I can't be pulled back. I'm always stuck here. If I try to stay up tall, I'm gonna lose balance. I'm gonna do this shit. So here is just down all the time. You should feel the pull like along the line of your pec and then push through that line. No, people should play with the height that they feel good at. I wouldn't recommend it being way up there because it's hard to keep the leverage on the handle. So if my handle's here, there's not much tension till I move through it, right? When I'm up here, I'm relaxed again. Whereas if I was way up there, it'd be like yanking on my shoulder, right? People have to learn on cables too to like ride the tension of the cable. So if my tension of my cable is hard here and then it starts to get harder and harder, I don't want to go like, you know what I mean? Ride the tension of the machine. So be in the, like, feel the tension, the momentum of the machine and move with the tension dimension of the machine. So it's like, you understand like you're staying on where you want to stay on. Stop being in a rush to get out of the tension. So I feel this tension on my chest that I'm flexing through. I don't want to go, and then open again. It's like, no, like live in that tension and just keep breathing and moving in that tension. That's what you want to do. That's the whole point of bodybuilding. It's not moving weight back and forth as much as like 85% of you people out there think it is. It's just like, I do the exercise, things happen to me. I do a bicep exercise and my biceps grow. I do a pull, my back grows. It's like, that's why none of you are growing. A good amount of you are having trouble with certain things. But you just need to connect more and understand that like bodybuilding is about just that, building, not lifting. We're not lifting shit. We're trying to connect to things like instantly, like they're almost attached to us through our hand. Like, and I'm able to feel that tension, understand the pace at which I need to pull. So obviously a lighter weight that we're controlling is going to be a lot smoother and a lot controlled. The heavier the weight gets, I might need to speed up a certain portion of that. Like the beginning of the movement might need to speed up a bit and then I can flex just to get that rhythm, right? So you have to find those tension points or those points where you can control your tension and just move on it all the time. That's the whole point.